And I'm back. More Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. We're at the end game. It's time to investigate Hope's Peak Academy. What looks to be Hope's Peak. That's weird. This is the hallway that we walked through. It's clearly different. Is this what Monokuma's doing too? Is he trying to confuse us again? I don't know how he's doing it. He keeps doing it over and over again. It's so persistent. But I'm not gonna fall for this trap. There's no way I'm gonna back down. This hallway, there's a strange feeling to it, no? As if an invisible wall has been erected to limit our movement.
I am concerned.
Is it just me? Dojo? It's full of strange things that make me think there's no way we're inside a school. Perhaps it's a mistake to expect the inside of this building to make sense. What is this? The manga? Manga for Morons, A History of Hope's Peak Academy by Monokuma? Why is a manga with such a suspicious looking title just out in the open? Let's start with history first, class.
Hey,
Reading manga is the third best way to learn about history. Then what's the first, you ask? That depends on the person. I made this. That explains how suspicious it looks. I only want to just ignore it, but there's no way I can do that. I'll look at anything that might be a clue to get us out of here, no matter what it is. I picked up the manga off the floor and started flipping through the pages. It's an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy's history, and narrated by the cutesy character on the cover. The story begins with an introduction on Hope's Peak. Okay, this is all stuff we know. I'm not gonna voice act this until I know it's like anything different. There we go. The Reserve Department. Unlike the main department whose Scots for students, the Reserve Department utilizes a general entrance exam. Normal faculty was hired and placed in charge of looking after the Reserve Department. The expenses and exam fees of the Reserve Department are quite high compared to most other schools. Nevertheless, Hope's Peak Academy received an endless stream of applicants. Hope's Peak Academy was now available to talentless commoners, people who only cared about the brand. With this, Hope's Peak managed to amass sizable funds and began further research of talent to create Hope's Peak Academy's earnest wish, a true genius who would become mankind's hope. But just when they thought they had everything going well, an unexpected incident occurred. Hope's Peak Academy was crippled by the tragedy and was forced to shut down without accomplishing anything. The end. Ugh. Huh? Ending was so sudden, like a manga was suddenly canceled in the middle of its run. Those phrases mentioned at the end, the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak. These names are so melodramatic. There's no way those incidents really happened. I only mentioned the names, so I don't know the details, but it'd just be a waste of time to talk about things that don't make sense. More importantly, I learned something because of this manga. The Reserve Department was only built to collect money. I was one of those Reserve Corps students, right?
but hold on.
That's weird. You're here again.
Shing!
Ah, the thing that's weird is you. Of course.
Hey! Hey!
Why did you forget that you're part of the reserve department? The Future Foundation only took away your school memories, right? But you should have known even before you entered that you had no talent, right? I think it's weird that you actually forgot something like that, too. What do you want me to say?
By the way...
Based on my assumption, the Future Foundation wanted to hide the fact that you were one of those reverse course
I
students.
got it!
Or you willingly sealed those memories yourself. You wanted to be confident in yourself, so you wanted to forget everything that embarrassed you. You know, when humans experience trauma, sometimes they erase the memory of what happened. It happens pretty often. Not that I would know anything about that, though. Are you saying it's my fault I forgot? That's not it!
Come on!
When things get inconvenient, you always get angry and try to brush it off. But that's expected of a reverse course student. Damn it! What the heck? What's going on? This hallway. It's kind of creepy. I can't go to places I should be able to go to. It's like some rule's being enforced for some reason. It's like there's an invisible wall or something. Another book! Manga from Mora, The Tragedy of Hope's Academy. But with this, I'll be able to learn more about the incident. As the name suggests, the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy occurs at Hope's Peak Academy. The key player in the event is a student named Izuru Kamakura. Izuru is a genius known as a symbol of hope. Hope's Peak Academy used all of their resources to develop him. Supposedly, he was a genius among geniuses that possessed various talents. Wielding superior talent for the hope of mankind, they refer to him as the ultimate hope. To protect such rare talent, the Academy completely concealed all evidence of his origins and identity. Because of that, most students at the Academy were completely unaware of his existence. But Izuru, who was known as the symbol of hope, was responsible for a horrible incident. 13 students of Hope's Peak Academy Student Council, among the Academy's best and brightest, were brutally murdered by him. However, the incident did not end there. The Academy tried to protect his superior talent and conceal the incident as though it never happened. However, a certain student began working in secret to use that incident to their advantage. That student uncovered what the Academy did, and by making that knowledge public, it stoked the fires of the reserve course students who had long been dissatisfied with how they were treated, and the uprising began. And that heralded Hope's Peak Academy's destruction. That is the entirety of the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Eventually, the incident would lead to that horrifying, devastating incident that would be known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event. I wish they would find something better to call it than the tragic event or the biggest. They just call it the tragedy, and that's at least enough. Works cited. Danganronpa 0. Ah, I see. With a heavy sigh, I closed the manga. So Danganronpa 0 is like supplemental stuff that I guess they wrote, or did another small-scale game or something. I don't know. Am I supposed to believe this? There's no way 13 people were killed here. What irony! For a genius known as the ultimate hope to cause such a gruesome incident. A talent like that is too regal for society. It's like trying to buy juice with a bar of gold. You should be lucky that you're incompetent. He always ends up to lead up with something offensive. Pisses me off. The ultimate hope. Nagito mentioned it before too. Looks like it meant something completely different here. What Nagito said was the true meaning of hope. But for Izuru, hope simply means talent. The genius possesses various talents? I wish they'd given me one of those so I didn't have to be in the reserve department. That's right. So the reserve corps students began uprisings. And what about me? Was I a participant too? No, it's not possible. There's no way. I had no reason to do something like that. Oh no. The zebra-colored look on these bars and windows and the lighting is just disgusting. Anyway. I can't go, so there's still something on this floor I haven't done. Look, I'm gonna keep checking the biolab because fuck it. There! It's finally unlocked. Alright. Biolab! Raw! Rawr! Oh, this is bad. What the hell is this room? It's freaking cold in here. It's like I'm in a freezer or something. I might just if I stand still, I'll end up freezing to death. Gotta hurry up and get out of here. Hi, Monokuma.
I've been found.
Take the book and get out of here. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. That. A story about a creepily drawn characters who get involved in horrifying incidents. It's drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque. The beginning of this sentence starts with this sentence. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the Reserve Corps students triggered the tragedy of Hope's Peak was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not just limited to students, but people of various races and nations began joining in. But the movement was not confined to the internet. It began spreading and eroding the real world. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. By then, it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and wanton destruction became their only goal. The strong butchered the weak. The weak killed the weakest among them. And soon, the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear, as if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times, when senseless deaths became the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. But the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. A feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coups d'etats began occurring around the world. A war waged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain. Just war. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How could a movement started by high school students progress to such hopeless scenarios? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak, a group called Ultimate Despair. Instead of using Hope's Peak's Academy talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they used them for the sake of mankind's despair. Key members of society used their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. The power and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy. As long as ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end. My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold. And it wasn't because I was freezing. This is definitely all made up. I mean, if it's really true, then what's happening in the outside world? My family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, the nearby bookstore, my favorite restaurant. What happened to them?
No way!
Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you? Would you enjoy reading? Who would enjoy reading something like this? Oh my, you don't like manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like eating candy. What is this messed up manga? I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you to not remember that, such despair. That's the Future Foundation's fault, though. Thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains. The incident really happened? And I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible!
What are you saying?
How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues here are real.
Hello.
Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives in the outside world. So that's how it is. That's what I meant when I said it. He's trying to make us feel despair towards the outside world. So we want to stay on this island. There's no way I'm going to give him what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now. No. Perhaps. No, it's definitely it. Whether or not this incident really happened, what in the world is this ultimate despair group? If they're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope Speaks Academy to its destruction, are they connected to both tragedies? Plus, that organization isn't just one person, but a group of people. But if they're known as Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right? If they were actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they were called Ultimates. Then, are the killings we involved in connected? It's no use, I'm gonna freeze to death! I'm at my limit, I gotta get out of here! That was close. I nearly froze to death. Where do I go next? I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. Yeah, I got time. Only gotten about 20 minutes of it. Anyway. Look at all this matrix code flooding everywhere. That's another one. No, I should ignore it. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see him.
Jeez.
When I went inside that room, that bastard bear was suddenly here. He keeps glancing at me. It's gonna be shitty either way. So I'll let you handle it. There's no way I'm gonna deal with this idiot. I don't wanna do it either.
Hiya.
Why, hello, Hajime! I hope you're doing pleasingly well. Are you pleasing me well? You're pleasing me well, right? Not like the way I tried to make that sentence work. What are you doing here?
No.
Well, there was another thing I needed to tell you on the floor. I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth? Should have done that from the beginning. I didn't want to read your manga in the first place. A high school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pots. I'm really fed up with your babbling. Now hurry up and what do you want to tell me? It's about that key piece of information you've been waiting so long for. Surprise! It's about ultimate despair. Even though the term ultimate despair refers to a group these days,
Actually,
it was originally the title of a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive.
yes indeed.
Lady Junko Enoshima.
Hey,
As the former ultimate despair, she created a despair brimming with charm and humor, and created the ultimate despairs. There was one really horrible person in this.
don't fuck with me.
Hold on a sec. I don't know who the ultimate despairs are, but it's not easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join up some fucked up organization created by a high school girl.
Unbelievable.
Humans who are obsessed with their philosophy have an uncanny power to attract another. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it.
Hey,
That holds true for Lady Junko. With her charismatic ability to attract people through 5 or 6 different personalities, she even influenced those highest echelons of power. Her connections were the main reason the incident became the tragedy in the first place. So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat? And what was their purpose? Huh? Why did they cause the incident? Doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way they would just do that without any purpose.
hey,
It was Junko Enoshima's despair. For Junko Enoshima, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines her as Junko Enoshima. What are you saying? I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human. It's exactly like that. Junko Enoshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving. For her, everything is despair. The hell? With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs, one by one. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea had been slammed right into their minds. And so the ultimate despairs who had been recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko Enoshima. Like believers making offerings to their god. Like a mother providing food to her children. They dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair, all in Junko's name. For example, they killed their families and friends, and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something that they had to do. There's no way something that crazy is possible. Do you you know about the final days of the Reserve Corps students during the tragedy of Hope's Peak?
In other words,
Junko had the power to change people's values. That is also true for famous people throughout history. What do you mean, final days? What happened to them?
of course.
They fulfilled their roles as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do. And so the 2,357 students committed mass suicide!
What'd you say?
All of them? It wasn't all of them. One person was excluded. Is that me?
Damn it.
I don't believe it. There's no way I could believe this. Ultimate despair? Junko Enoshima? That doesn't scare me at all. I mean, she's already dead! Well, what does that mean? What does Fuyuhiko know about it? Hey, is that true what you said? She's already dead? What, you didn't see? There was a book called Manga for Morons Killing School Life. Wait, what was about the killing school life?
Well, yeah.
The killing school life ended up failing in the end. As a result, the 6 students who survived managed to escape the academy.
Hey,
For a manga about the killing school life, it was drawn with a lot of silly images and dumb gags. According to that, the mastermind behind the failed school life was Junko Enoshima. The mastermind took her own life, which means Junko Enoshima is dead?
like,
Turns out the killing school life was part of the whole biggest, most awful whatever. Junko took away the memories of former students of Hope's Peak and forced them to kill each other. Apparently the whole thing was being filmed by surveillance cameras and broadcast worldwide. There's a limit to being a cruel asshole. Broadcasting the whole thing? Students of Hope's Peak Academy were widely known as symbols of hope. By forcing people to watch those symbols of hope kill each other for the sake of survival, they were trying to fill everyone who watched the broadcast with despair all at once. That's messed up. But the messed up plan was stopped. Junko Enoshima failed. She lost to the students she placed in a trap, and after being overcome by the despair she created, she took her own life. And Junko is no more. No matter how horrible she was, there's no reason to fear someone who's dead. Whether Monokuma's story's true or not doesn't matter. Junko Enoshima isn't alive anymore! Who is her enemy? If she's already dead, then are the rest of Ultimate Despair behind this? Are the followers of Junko carrying out her will? It's the only thing I can think of. Killings were involved to resemble that killing school life. I don't know the hell is it imitating Junko and making us go through all this, but an imitation is just that. An imitation.
no shit.
If the students from Hope's Peak Academy stopped the real deal, there's no way they'd lose to some fake. It really is an imitation. The surveillance cameras are the same, too. Those are already Jabberwock, I mean. Are they broadcasting somewhere? Hajime! You totally know about that story, huh? Do you have a problem with that? I really wanted you to read the manga version since I took the time to draw it.
What are you gonna do?
Oh well, I'll just raise the flag. What do you mean? What's gonna happen if you do that? One step at a time. You're getting closer to clearing my character out. Since
Well, man.
now then, I'll give you guys my all. I'll tell you everything I know, including information on the outside and the inside. I'll raise them flags like crazy. You do that. I will call it a day. And see you next time.